Hello everyone, we are going to have a flipped lesson on relative pronouns. This is going to prepare us for what we are going to be doing in grammar. A relative pronoun is a pronoun that introduces a relative clause. Relative pronouns relate to the word that it modifies or describes. We use relative pronouns after a noun to make it clear which person or thing we are talking about. A relative pronoun is a pronoun that marks a relative clause within a larger sentence. Relative pronouns link and introduce a relative clause to another part of the sentence. So what are some examples of relative pronouns? Who, which, whose, that, and whom. Who and whom always refer to people. Who refers to the subject and can be replaced by I, he, she, we, they, and who. Whom refers to the object and can be replaced by me, him, her, us, and them. Which always refers to things or ideas, never to people. That and whose can refer to people, things, and ideas. There is a he and him rule you need to take into consideration when choosing whether to use who or whom. If you could choose the word he, choose who. If you could choose the word him, choose whom. Now let's talk more about when and why we use each one. Whom is generally only used for people. Whom is not used very often because it's more formal than who and is often omitted when speaking. An example is, she had 3 children. All of blank went to Georgia Southern University. She had 3 children. All of them went to Georgia Southern University. Or you could say, she had 3 children, all of whom went to Georgia Southern University. Him, her, and them are all equivalent or equal to using whom. We sometimes use whom as the object of a verb or preposition. This is Mrs. Garcia, whom you met at open house. This is Mrs. Garcia's sister with whom I talked over the phone. When whom is used with a preposition, the preposition can be at the beginning or end of the clause. I have an aunt in Ireland from whom I get my red hair. I have an aunt in Ireland whom I get my red hair from. Whose is the only relative pronoun to show possession or ownership. The man whose briefcase is on the seat left in a hurry. The woman whose hair was in a mess is in the restroom. Which tells more about things. It is used when the clause added is unnecessary or non-essential to the sentence's understanding. Notice the comma before the word which. You must always put the comma. Jacob went to the movies, which started at 3 o'clock. Tia ate a chocolate-covered donut, which is full of sugar. That tells more about people or things. It is used when the clause added is necessary or essential to the sentence. Since the clause is essential, no comma is necessary. The pants that Toby wore are too short. Lyra cannot eat foods that contain too much sugar. For tomorrow's lesson, you must be prepared to understand what a relative pronoun really is. You need to be able to put relative pronouns in sentences and determine where in the sentence a relative pronoun is. So keep in mind that the definition of a relative pronoun is a pronoun that introduces a relative clause. Relative pronouns relate to the word that it modifies or describes. We use relative pronouns after a noun to make it clear which person or thing we are talking about. You are now going to answer some questions so I can be sure that you understand what we are going to be covering in the upcoming days in grammar.